So I've been debating if I want to do this video or not. And, I thought, you know what? There's some Star Wars fans out there that probably don't understand bleeding of lightsaber crystals and the lightsaber crystal lore and all of that. So I decided I'm going to make this video. I mean, it's not a secret that I was not a fan of the Acolyte, and I really felt like they just broke a lot of lore and just kind of did whatever they want and didn't really have any care for the established universe or established lore, or even things that had happened in the past with Star Wars. And so we're going to look specifically at this moment when you see in the Acolyte where, May or Osha or whoever, whatever her name was, I don't even know. It's so confusing in the plot. When she bled her lightsaber. It was just a random, oh, look, it's turning red. And that was about it. And a kind of angry face. And that doesn't really fit what we've seen in the comics, what we've seen in established lore, what we've seen even in video games. So we're going to kind of go through and explain lightsaber crystals, specifically the Sith. The old Legends lore and the old lore, it used to be that kyber crystals for the Sith were synthetic. It was just that was the color it was, and depending on what type of Jedi you were, it was either a blue or a green. And then eventually we get purple with Mace Windu. We have red that were synthetic, where basically the Sith couldn't bend the will of a kyber crystal to it. They had to make their own synthetically. Since the kyber crystal is almost sentient, it is a being as such, where it is force sensitive and can speak and reach out to other force sensitive Jedi and beings. We even see it in Jedi Fallen Order, where the kyber crystal is calling out to Cal. We see it in Rogue One.
I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
And this is why it's such a big deal, because when you bleed a kyber crystal, you're bending it to your will. So as a Sith, you're literally breaking the will of the kyber crystal. You're forcing it under your domain and dominion to bend to the will that you want. And so it bleeds and becomes red because it's in anguish and in pain. So let's look at a few examples of this that we've seen in the past. One of those is Darth Vader comic, where we see Darth Vader actually bleed his first kyber crystal after he becomes Darth Vader. And it takes an excruciating amount of effort for him to do that. He has to pour all of his anger and his bitterness and rage and everything into this kyber crystal. And it took him a couple of tries to even do it, because the kyber crystal resisted him. So it's a big deal to bleed a kyber crystal. It's not just a changing of colors because you're emoting. We also see this with Kylo Ren, where after he destroyed the temple in the comics, he tries to bleed the kyber crystal. And in doing so, because of his rage and confusion, it destroys the crystal almost. And that's why one of the reasons Kylo Ren's lightsaber is so unstable is because the kyber crystal is unstable because of the reflection of Kylo Ren, who bled it and broke it. We also see this in video games, where we see Cal Kestis come up against the High Republic Jedi. And when he bleeds it, there's even a boom effect around the crystal once it's bled.
I refused to obey and was betrayed by the one I trusted most.
No, stop!
Now, take for granted this is a High Republic Jedi, which is supposed to be the height of the Jedi. So for him to bleed the crystals with so much ease makes a little bit of sense, because he's an ultra powerful Jedi and now ultra powerful Sith. But when we see this in the Acolyte, it just seems like, oh, it's just a random thing because now we're emoting and we're mad. And it doesn't make sense that a kyber crystal would just change colors based on the emotion. If that was the case, we would have seen Anakin Skywalker's crystal turn red while he was attacking all the other Jedi on Coruscant with the Jedi Temple massacre they had, or when he was even killing the younglings. All of that and said, I hope to have taught you a little bit about kyber crystals and kind of a little bit of the lore behind it, and why it just kind of irritates me just a little bit that we so flippantly just had this kyber crystal turn red in the Acolyte. I really hope we don't have a season 2 of this show, just because it was so bad as far as just treating Star Wars with care. I really want to see people who can stick to kind of source material, who can follow the established lore and not just do whatever the heck they want because that's just what they want. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, if you enjoyed it and got a little bit of information about Star Wars out of it, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. You guys are awesome. Leave me a comment below and blow it up.
Make sure to like and subscribe, or we will execute Order 66. Check out our other videos on the screen as well.
Yes, my lord.